Hello, boys and girls. Today is the last chapter of Days with Frog and Toad. The name of the chapter we're going to read today is Alone. But we have been doing a great job learning home about two aspects of understanding stories better, which are really important. We've done a great job learning about the characters in each story. Okay, we've done some great work. Like yesterday, just to review, yesterday in the hat, we talked about Frog and how he was nice and he dropped the water on the hat for Toad so the hat would shrink. We talked about how he was clever on how he would like tell Toad to go to bed and think those really big thoughts and that's gonna make his head bigger. And then I thought it was funny coming up with that idea about thinking big thoughts. So Frog was a really good character in the chapter yesterday called the hat. Today we're gonna do something similar to how we did what we did with Frog right there, but we're gonna talk about Toad in our chapter today to end off the whole book, Days with Frog and Toad. So we're going to really concentrate on Toad. But we have also been doing an unbelievable job learning about the problem and the solution in each chapter. The problem, what is the problem, what's wrong in the chapter, the solution, how do the characters fix it. Okay, we've been doing some really good work getting the evidence out of the chapter or the details to help us understand the story a little bit better. So just to review how we've been doing, okay, you can see yesterday, well, the first chapter tomorrow, Toad had lots of chores to do. He got out of bed and he got it done. In the kite would not fly for 3 times, and they kept on trying, and finally the kite got up. They never gave up. In Shivers, the chapter, do they like being scared? When Frog and Toad said, are we gonna like, what do you think? Do we like being scared? Is that a good feeling? And then Frog told that story. And then they realized, you know what, being scared is okay, but as long as we're doing it together, that was fine. And then yesterday's chapter in the hat, Toad's hat was way too big. That was a problem. And then Frog put water on that hat so that it would shrink. That was the solution. And he kind of tricked Frog, saying, you know what, I think those big thoughts can make your head bigger, but that really wasn't the solution. It was the water that made the hat shrink. So we've been doing really well understanding our stories that way, using evidence and details from the actual story itself to help us understand it. Now today, we're going to read a chapter called Alone. And as I'm reading it, I want us to concentrate on Toad because we're going to look at him today just like we did Frog yesterday. So we're going to come up with the traits to describe Toad in this chapter. And, we're going to draw some pictures to show how we feel, why he did those things, okay, or why we think he's those things. So here we go. Alone, the last chapter of Days and Toad and Frog. For some of you, this might be your first chapter book, which is pretty cool. Okay, Alone. Toad went to Frog's house. He found a note on the door. The note said, Dear Toad, I am not at home. I went out. I want to be alone. Alone, said Toad. Frog has me for a friend. Why does he want to be alone? Toad looked through the window. He looked in the garden. He did not see Frog. Toad went to the woods. Frog was not there. He went to the meadow. Frog was not there. Toad went down to the river. There was Frog. He was sitting on an island by himself. Poor Frog, said Toad. He must be very sad. I will cheer him up. Toad ran home. He made sandwiches and he made a pitcher of iced tea. He put everything in a basket. Toad hurried back to the river. Frog, he shouted, it's me. It's your best friend Toad. Frog was too far away to hear. Toad took off his jacket and waved it like a flag. Frog was too far away to see. Toad shouted and waved, but it was no use. Frog sat on the island. He did not see or hear Toad. A turtle swam by. Toad climbed on the turtle's back. Turtle, said Toad, carry me to the island. Frog is there. He wants to be alone. If Frog wants to be alone, said the turtle, why don't you leave him alone? Maybe you are right, said Toad. Maybe Frog does not want to see me. Maybe he does not want me to be his friend anymore. Yes, maybe, said the turtle as he swam to the island. Frog, cried Toad, I am sorry for all the dumb things I do. I am sorry for all the silly things I say. Please be my friend again. Toad slipped off the turtle. With a splash, he fell in the river. Frog pulled Toad up onto the island. Toad looked in the basket. The sandwiches were wet. The pitcher of iced tea was empty. Our lunch is spoiled, said Toad. I made it for you, Frog, so that you would be happy. But Toad, said Frog, I am happy. I'm very happy. This morning when I woke up, I felt good because the sun was shining. I felt good because I was a frog. And I felt good because I have you for a friend. I wanted to be alone. I wanted to think about how fine everything is. Oh, said Toad, I guess that is a very good reason for wanting to be alone. Now, said Frog, I will be glad not to be alone. Let's eat lunch. Frog and Toad stayed on the island all afternoon. They ate wet sandwiches without iced tea. They were two close friends sitting alone together. Right there. Okay, so great story there. So now let's go back to what we've been doing all week. Let's go to the problem and the solution. Okay, now the problem and solution. So we're going to get a chart out. You guys might have made one at home, which if you have been, that's amazing. So let's get I'm going to get a marker right here. Okay, I'm going to fill it in. So the title of this chapter today was Alone. Okay, so I got it right there for us to see. Okay. Now, what was the problem? What was the problem in this chapter? Okay. Well, Frog was alone, but that wasn't really the problem. But what did Toad think? That's right. Toad thought that Frog didn't want to be his friend. So I'm going to say Toad thought Frog did not want to be friends. You know, Frog was worried. He's like, oh man, Toad was worried. Like, Frog wants to be alone. He must not want me for a friend anymore. I gotta go check out. I gotta go see what the problem is. Let me go make those sandwiches. So that was what his problem is. So Toad was really worried, right? So what was the solution? The solution was Frog told Toad everything is fine. Don't even worry. Okay? Everything is fine. Like, you don't have to worry about me. I just want to sit here and learn and think how great my life is. Frog was so happy. He didn't need to be around Toad every time. You know, sometimes you need a little alone time. So Toad didn't really understand that. Frog's like, you know what? Don't even worry. I just need to be alone. I'm so happy with the way my life is right now. So again, that was the problem. Toad really thought that Frog did not want to be friends anymore. So he went to go Frog. He went to communicate with him. Frog's like, you know what? Don't even worry. We're friends. It's okay. Okay, let's eat our lunch, even though it's soggy. Okay, so again, good job with the problem solution. So now, at the beginning of the story today, I told you guys that the character that we're going to concentrate on today is Toad, right? And with the character, we're going to talk about the traits. Like, what are traits? Traits meaning like how we would describe that character in this chapter. So here's what I came up with for Toad. Okay, I came up with 3 things. Now, you might think of the same 3 things with me, but if you have something different, that'd be awesome. Please share that. Okay, so here's what I thought for Toad. Okay, for Toad, I thought he was friendly. Okay, and I wrote just like a stick figure. I can't draw a Toad, but I wrote, Frog is my friend. He's super friendly. He really loves Frog. He wants to be friends with him all the time, so I describe him as friendly. But I also describe him as somebody who worries. Why is Frog alone? And you can see I have not a smiley face on this picture here. Like, why is Frog alone? I'm nervous. Why is he not here? Why is he not with me? Why are we not talking right away? You know, why is he on an island all by himself? I need to do something. And then my third trait is I picked him as caring, right? Okay, there's my iced tea right there. There's my sandwich that he's bringing. Even though he fell in the water off Turtle's back, he was very caring. He was friendly, he worries, and he's caring. Now, as I was describing those 3 traits, you heard me use a lot of details that came through in the story, right? Okay, so like if you're able to describe what happened in the story to describe your character using those details, that means you are getting better at reading and you're understanding what you're thinking and just doing an overall great job and enjoying the book even more, okay? So that's what we have for Toad right there. Okay, I'm going to leave him right there. So boys and girls, that brings us to our last, choice board activity for this book here. Okay, so for the loan, I'll leave this right up here for you to show you. Okay, you can write about a place where you like to be alone. Like, do you like to go to any alone place? Why do you like to go there? Okay, write about that place. You can even draw it. Another one you can do is you can write which character was your favorite in the book and why. Like, did you like Frog better all throughout? Did you like Toad better all throughout? They're both kind of funny. They both have really good traits. You can write about that. You can write or draw about something that makes you happy. Okay, like I would obviously draw Connie and tell you 35 million things about her, so it would be like a book. So you can make a book about something that makes you happy, or you can list 5 words that start with the word alone and put 3 of them in the sentences. So that's our choices for today. Okay, write about a place where you like to be alone and why, or you could write which character was your favorite and why, or you could write 5 words that start with alone, put at least 3 in sentences, or you could draw about something that makes you happy. So do one of those activities today that go along with this chapter. So boys and girls, we have done an outstanding job reading this book. I hope you really liked Days with Frog and Toad. We learned a lot about character, and we learned a lot about the problem and solution. So I'm really proud of all the hard work you're doing, learning at home. Hope everybody's safe and happy, doing a great job with their family. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a great day.